LoreWarrior Online, NJT-2 Ninjato. Overview. Independent weaponry of Quentin, makers of the Naginata, Shugenja and Taisho, established themselves as the premier experts of combine heavy mech manufacturing for the Draconis Combine, particularly when it comes to the use of the increasingly popular C3 computer network. While their latest products sported the expensive and critical command computers, the equally useful C3 slave systems continue to appear mainly in Omnimech variants or retrofits on existing mech designs. The NJT-2 Ninjato, designed to work with the likes of the Shugenja and the Taisho, addresses this lack. Capabilities. Weighing in at 65 tons, the Ninjato, named for the chosen blade of the ninja in ancient Japan, features an extra-light Hermes 390 rated engine, allowing it to match or exceed the speed of many clan mechs of comparable size. Endosteel internal construction, though bulky, lightens the frame and increases the mass allowance for weaponry, ammunition, and armour. 12 tons of standard Duralex heavy armour, complete with case, protects the Ninjato from enemy fire and internal ammunition explosion, backed by a formidable arsenal of lasers and medium-range missiles, meant to deliver serious damage even as the mech closes on enemy positions. Unfortunately, to mount this kind of firepower on the Ninjato while still allowing for the remarkable speed, designers had to skimp on the heat exchange system. Only 12 double-strength heat sinks work to keep the Ninjato cool enough to operate safely, sinks that can be easily overtaxed simply by the use of the mech's primary weapons. Deployment. Production on the Ninjato began at a modest rate in 3062, with independent weaponry contracted to provide the first 3 runs exclusively to the DCMS. As it was intended to complement the C3 command units already produced by Independence, the first shipments of the new Ninjato have gone to the Genyosha regiments, where both the Taisho and the Shugenja were first assigned. Executives at Independence Weaponry suggest, however, that once the deficit between the number of Ninjatos and these command units narrow, the company may then attempt to offer C3 Command Lance packages. These discount incentives would present models such as the Shugenja, Taisho, Naginata, and the Ninjato to a match set, boosting sales while giving the customer the most of the C3 network advantage. Variants. A cooler-running variant, the NJT-3 model, is currently undergoing trials on the Quentin testing grounds. This variant drops the missile rack and ammo and instead uses standard PPCs in place of the arm-mounted ER large lasers. An additional half-ton of armour gained by this switch reinforces the legs and the rear torso, granting this model more protection and a better heat curve, but at a loss of reach and close-in hitting power. So as it says, this is a 65-tonner. Its chassis is the Starleague XT Light Endo Steel. Power plant is the Magna 390 Extra Light. Its cruise speed is 65 kph, its max speed is 97 kph with no jump capability. Its armour is Duralex Heavy with case. Its armament is a pair of Diverse Optics Sunbeam Extended Range Large Lasers, 2 Diverse Optics Extended Range Medium Lasers, and a single Shugenja MRM-10. It's manufactured by Independence Weaponry on Quentin. Communication system is the Garrett T19G with C3 Slave, and targeting and tracking is the Cat's Eyes 5. Overall, this translates into a stat of 6 and 9, with 12 double heatsinks. Its armour is 9 on the head, 29 on the CT, 10 on the rear, 20 on the side torsos with 7 on the rear, and 18 on the arms and 27 on the legs. There's an ER large laser in each arm, which explains the 2 ridiculous size holes, and the MRM-10 is located in the right torso with the ammunition. The case is also located there. Its CT has the 2 ER mediums, which are also massive gaping holes, and it has a C3 slave system in the head. Weapons package? Not bad overall, pretty well put together. Visually, mech could do with an overhaul, let's face it. Again, this thing where, it's a big weapon, so the barrels have to be larger than the mech's head. I mean, look at that, it's ridiculous. How big are the lasers being fired out of these things? And if the 2 black holes in the middle of these things are supposed to be like the lenses that focus the lasers, they're massive and would be very easily damaged at that size. The same goes with the ER mediums. It's just scale for some artists is all over the place, and I don't really blame the artists so much for a lot of this. Sometimes I think it's just whoever was having a look and giving it the thumbs up in the offices at FASA just didn't really pay much attention at this point. Actually, was this even FASA? Let me double check this quick. No, this is FanPro and WizKids. So like they didn't. No one in those offices bothered to sort of look it over and go, "Now, could you reduce the size of the arms because they look friggin' ridiculous?" And I'm sure any miniatures. I haven't looked these up for like Ironwind, which obviously probably would have been the ones who produced any miniatures of the Ninjato over the years of out in the cold of like BattleTech miniatures being few and far between. Probably did some work to make this look better, no doubt. Miniatures usually did, just because of obviously the realities of like if you try and copy the artwork one for one, it's not going to look right, or it isn't going to be balanced as a model on the table. It's going to fall over, or putting the pieces together as some bits. The arms, for instance, if they were that big, they'd be too heavy to glue onto the model. You'd have to sit there and hold it for a long time to put the lead pewter fucking model together. It'd be awful. But stat-wise, the mech is okay. It is hot, but its damage potential is certainly there. A mostly energy loadout and a 65-tonner that can move fairly quick for its size. Yeah, not bad. Quite dangerous, in fact. I mean, even if you didn't want to do too much heat-wise, you could still run in there and fire the ER mediums with the with the MRM-10 and still have a pretty good chance of doing decent damage. It's still a chance of doing a 20 hit. If you have a really good roll with the MRM, but yeah, it's not bad. Couple that with the fact that, it's got C3, so it's sending data back to other members of the Lance, and yeah, you've got a pretty decent mech. Yeah. Armor-wise, it's, quite tanky. You can take a fair amount of hits when you think about the spread, so it's not going to get opened up too quickly. Definitely one of those mechs that would be a good kind of, again, always thinking about it from a GM's perspective, but one of those ones that you could have as a leader of an enemy force, especially, obviously, if you're doing something around this kind of area in the Combine, or as a kind of thing that you could, again, have as a reward that you might have at the end of a campaign or whatever, players being able to get their hands on, one of these mechs. They're produced for the most part just for the Combine, but because of your work for like Independence Weaponry or as a reward from an employer within the Combine, for instance, they give you a Ninjato. That would be pretty cool. Or unless maybe you're playing as a bunch of like scuzzy pirate types and you basically get away with one as salvage, that kind of thing. So some interesting ideas for sort of story elements of how you want to sort of run the mech. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I don't dislike it from a stat perspective, and the story of it, it's not bad. Obviously, it's not doing anything that interesting overall though. But the Ninjato, it's okay. It just has bad artwork, unfortunately. Again, one of those things we can hope that maybe as time goes on and we see obviously Catalyst catch up, we might see better ones. We've already seen like an improved Argus, for instance, so maybe we'll see a Ninjato that has better artwork in the future. And then further down the line in miniature would be great. So, yeah. As always, thanks for listening, and catch you all next time. Bye-bye.